Hey everyone, I have here another throwback and Lego First. This was the first Lego Star Wars Luke's Landspeeder set from 1999, the first year of Lego Star Wars period. And the entire set came with just 49 pieces. Compare that to the most recent Luke's Landspeeder set with 149 pieces, just over 3 times as many parts, representing the same thing. The great thing about this for its day was that even though it was made with so few pieces, and it was actually a fairly cheap set at the time, it was immediately obvious exactly what it was supposed to be. And it actually, for its day, looked quite good as a representation in minifig scale of the Landspeeder. There are 2 things that I don't like about this personally. One is the windscreen. It's just very linear. You know, it has all the straight edges and hard angles that don't really flow with the rest of the thing. And also the figures sit up rather high. You know, the bases of the seats that they're sitting on are elevated up, and there's just not a whole lot of kind of, you know, the side wall next to them, what you might consider the door area. But beyond those 2 details, I think it looks actually really good. It's down on detail relative to today's builds, of course, especially around the back. It did have enough room on the deck on the back to place a couple more figures there if you want to set it up with an R2 and a C3PO sitting up high. That works. And those engine pieces were nice, very useful for many different uses, but you know, they have some texture in them themselves that really added a lot. You switch over to smoother parts for those, and it really takes a lot out of the character of this. Just a little bit of the detailing along the side with the profiled bricks, and also one single grill up on the top to represent an area that has a little texture in it, or possibly is open and showing some wires and mechanics inside. But that's really just it. The figures, like I said, are obviously, you know, appear on seats. There's just enough room for a lightsaber behind there, and those seats are sat on top of jumpers to set them in just a little bit, you know, just a little bit of offset to give you the room. And I think that the offset from the side works out pretty well. And this was back in the day when they still regularly, almost always, suggested alternate models. And I'm very lucky to have the original instruction sheet for this. And on the back, they show you a possible alternate model, which is another type of speeder. And yeah, these kind of side wings, kind of vertical stabilizers are very vertical and very squarish. But I think if you had just a couple more pieces, or moved just a couple things around just a little bit, maybe you could make those not quite so obvious. Maybe move the engines up there or something, or move those fins down. I think that may have worked even better. But yeah, again, so few pieces, yet you can still do something else with just those parts. The figures, I think, looked really good for their era. The level of detail, the crispness of the prints, especially for Luke, very nice. You know, we got some printing going down into the leg with different thicknesses of lines. A little bit of registration issue there with the gray of the belt buckle showing up a little bit high. But, you know, all in all, I think these looked really good for 99, and you got that nice chrome hilt for Obi-Wan. The faces look good too. The faces definitely work for me, especially Luke. Obi-Wan, yeah, I feel like he needs, maybe it's the hair. I'm not sure what this needs more of. Maybe just a taller print for the beard to bring the beard down just a little bit more. They didn't have any printing on the backs at this time, and they also had no alternate faces. Of course, both of these have some playware. Got a little bit of splitting there, I guess, from a little bit of rough removal of the lightsaber itself, but this blade was formed very nicely because it doesn't have any bubbles in it. You know, usually, especially nowadays, you get them with bubbles, but I got pretty lucky with this one. I'm also very fortunate to have a hilt that still has most of its covering on there. Just a little bit of decay over time, a little bit of corrosion, but it's mostly there. Looking at this in the same year as the release of a brand new version really drives home just how much detail and complexity creep there has been in Lego products, if you will, kind of like power creep in a game, you know, that has been out for a while. Just everything becomes more of everything over time. And it's really significant, 3 times the number of parts. And yet, you know, with just some small alterations, I feel like this itself could have been released as a product today, just as something small, you know, at the price of a battle pack or something like that, you know, rather than 2 or 3 times as much as you would pay for a modern variant of the same. But Lego just can't go back. They have continually moved towards more and more detail, and that's what people expect nowadays. Interesting issues. Let me know if you have any thoughts about that, or if you just have any thoughts about this set on the whole that you've seen. It's certainly nice to be able to take a good look at a specimen that's this old, that's in this good a shape. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.